There's great power in prayer, even more in group prayer. This is the foundation of the Unity Movement and our church. Our prayer ministry has close to over 100 active participants supporting our community and the world. There's great synergy in us coming together consistently. Beyond our own personal experience with prayer, there's so much evidence to its impact on the collective consciousness. The Maharishi effect shows that if 1% of the population meditates, it produces measurable improvements in the quality of life for the whole population. The world is going through a lot of change. We must go to the unchanging realm of the divine and help co-create the best outcome for the most impactful event taking place. Let's join together to support this cause. Thank you for joining us. Your presence, your consciousness is summoned for humanity at this time. There's great power in prayer, even more in group prayer. This is the foundation of the Unity Movement and our church. Our prayer ministry has close to over 100 active participants supporting our community and the world. There's great synergy in us coming together consistently. Beyond our own personal experience with prayer, there's so much evidence to its impact on the collective consciousness. The Maharishi effect shows that if 1% of the population meditates, it produces measurable improvements in the quality of life for the whole population. The world is going through a lot of change. We must go to the unchanging realm of the divine and help co-create the best outcome for the most impactful event taking place. Let's join together to support this cause. Thank you for joining us. Your presence, your consciousness is summoned for humanity at this time.
Because the world is round, it turns me on. Because the world is round, because the wind is high, it blows my mind. Because the wind is high. Love is old, love is new. Love is all, love is you. Because the sky is blue, it makes me cry. Because the sky is blue.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of the Triangle. My name is Jay, and I'm happy to be up here with Tim Chris on the bass, Robert on the drums, and we've got our young folks coming up, and it's another great Sunday here. We are a spiritual community awakening to our divine nature through love, service, personal transformation, and part of that community, something that we look forward to every month, is our open mic night, which is coming up. I know. So, David Johnson and Dan Wilkinson have got this going a few years ago, and we even managed to keep it going through the pandemic with virtual performances, and it keeps growing and getting bigger, and it's really just a fun night, and hope you all can make it out this Thursday, 7 p.m. right across the way in the Fellowship Hall. So yes, we're a community here, and whether you're joining us for the first time, whether you've been with us for a while, we're glad you're here. And let's take a moment and just say hi to the folks around you. A little wave. There we go. And hello out there to those of you who are joining us online. Hello to our young people this morning. And some of our teens were away at the beach last week, and I think we're going to hear a little bit about that, and David's got some scenes from that to show.
It's on now. Sorry about that. So we have one of the teams that's going to talk about it. They went on a great field trip to Emerald Isle. So here we go.
Hi. So yeah, last weekend we went to one of our fellow YOU members' beach house, and we had a little Unity of the Triangle retreat. So basically, what we're doing now is we're making our Unity Peace shirts. So basically, we had like a paint water balloon fight, and we taped like a peace sign on it, basically. So there's very peacey, and yeah. Yeah, and then we had. We practiced meditation, like we listened to some like guided meditation videos, and those were pretty nice. And we just had like a conversation like about the principles of unity, and just kind of like talked about our thoughts on that. And yeah, we just had a really good time, like got to bond with each other, become closer. Okay. So yeah.
Thank you. Give her a hand. That was beautiful. Thank you. So now we're going to bless our youth.
Yes, and today is the last Sunday in April, which means it is Autism Awareness Month. We have a few of our students that we just want to hold in light today as well while we're doing our blessing. So if we wouldn't mind beginning that. Ready? You are loved, special, and important, just the way you are. Thank you, everybody. Happy Sunday.
And now we're going to sing our We Are Unity song. So we hope you can get up off your feet and join us in that. 1, 2, 3, and.
In the dark of night, the stars light up the sky. We see them flying free. That's just like you and me. Everyone is lonely sometimes, but I would walk 1,000 miles to see your eyes. You are not alone, we are family. Hold me, let's escape this reality. You are my symphony. By your side, we are unity. You are my energy, my guiding light. We are unity. We We are unity. We are unity. Although the rain might pour, a thunder starts to roar, the lightning waves the waves, but through it we are brave. Everyone is lonely sometimes, but I would walk 1,000 miles to see your eyes. You are not alone, we are family. My guiding light, escape reality. You are my symphony. By your side, we are unity. You are my energy, my guiding light. We are unity. We are unity. We are unity. You are my symphony, and by your side, you are unity. You are my energy, my guiding light. We are unity. 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 Please remain standing now and join us in the welcome song as we dismiss the youth to their classes. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
As the prayer ministry stands, please join us in prayer. Let us pray. We join together in the sanctuary of prayer as one heart, one mind, and one consciousness. Our interconnectedness with the divine and each other creates a powerful wellspring of infinite possibilities. No matter our cultures or traditions, as one spiritual family, we share a bond through spiritual truths. We are all God's children without God's judgment, for God's love is in every one of us. Together we lift our awareness to the spiritual truths of love, peace, wisdom, and harmony. Through our discernment, we allow these truths to direct our thoughts and actions for the good of all. As we embrace our divinity, we shower the world with blessings and hope. We affirm our unity with every name in this prayer box, those named and unnamed, through our love, compassion, and peace. We hold these truths for those who may be unable to hold these truths for themselves. So with gratitude for all that is, we rest in the assurance that all is well, and so we let it be. Amen.
We are one. We are
As we move into meditation, let us start by adjusting our bodies so they can be comfortable. And having done that, let us begin to settle in and relax. Relaxing the face, relaxing the neck and throat, shoulders, chest and belly. Let the hips relax. Let our bodies just relax for this moment. Let there be nothing we clutch, compress, tense. Just relax. Now let's pay attention to breathing, moving inward with our experience, feeling our breath, each one. Feel it come in, feel it go out. And the body relaxes more and the mind relaxes with it. So we pay attention to our breathing. Now let us find the golden thread inside ourselves. The one may come to us as a voice, or it may come to us as a feeling, or it may come to us as just a knowing, but that golden thread that knows what is next for us to do, what our path is, what our place is. The one that connects our heart to our actions, our thinking about ourselves to the thinking about others. The one that unites us with all that is, and yet lets us make the final choice. Find that place, find the thread, find that voice. Let's bring our full attention to that. And with each heartbeat, each breath, let us energize that awareness and go deeper. As we sit together in holy silence.
Give us this day our daily bread. You said you would supply all my needs according to your riches. I have but to ask, and I shall receive. To go from here and share this love gave to me to show someone who's lost and help them find their way, the way to truth and faith, so they can be free like me, free like me. Lord, we are your love. Lord, we are your peace. Lord, we are your joy. This day.
Thank you, Tim. Today, this week has been a little complicated for me in trying to understand some theological ideas that I had never resolved, and I'm going to work them out right in front of you, so hope it goes well. Here's the problem. God is everything. And yet, not everything is God the good at the same time. Do you get that feeling? Sometimes you go, well, how is this good? What is this about? How can it be God the good, etc.? And there's only one presence, one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. So I've worked this in many directions over the years, but here's where I am today. You have a body. And this body sometimes works incredibly beautifully, and sometimes it's ill. And now when it's ill, it's still your body. And when it's working really well, it's still your body. So though there's only one presence in one body, there's only one body, right? At times it seems to be working well, and at times it doesn't seem to be working that well. That is the nature of creation. And the path of following God, as I would like to lay it out today, is the path of finding perfect health. It's essentially moving in a direction that has the least amount of illness toward the most amount of good, the most amount of health and vitality. That is what following God is. And so God then becomes everything, and yet it also becomes this one thing. Now think of it, I've been trying to think of a metaphor for it. And so think of the mountain as the whole of God, but inside the mountain there is a vein of gold. And you can have the whole mountain and it can be worth very little to you, but if you get the gold, now you have something. And so while it is everything, what really makes us happy, healthy, productive, loving, friendly, the good experiences that we want, that is the gold. So you can be over here in the rock and you're still in God, but it's not that fun. Do you know what I mean? I was a river guide. You can be in the river and sometimes you're in the eddy. If you're in the eddy, it's not that you're not in the river, but that eddy is going nowhere, literally. Around in circles, around in circles, and round in circles. And how many lifetimes, how many days at least have we just been in the eddy? And so the path of awakening, the path of finding what you're really looking for in this whole idea of the divine or God or spirit or transcendence, when you are looking for that, what you're trying to find is this gold, the main current, the real deal, however you say it. And so while my mind doesn't seem to be big enough to encompass all of this with clarity, these are my explorations. And so I want to talk to you today about the Lord's Prayer, which is the Lord's Prayer, meaning the prayer that Jesus said, here's how to pray. And he had not many words in it, which is one of the things he said. Don't use a lot of words. Really, with the whole thing about the whole idea about this prayer, I think the essence of the prayer is it's saying, here's where the gold is. It's not a big, giant theological discussion. It just points right to a narrow vein of good life. This good life. So you don't have a lot of flowery language about God, etc. You don't have a lot of do's and don'ts. You don't have a lot of, aphorisms and stuff. It's just kind of to the point. And the first, I think I'm going to assume most of you know it. But I'll do the whole thing at the end before we're done. And I'm really taking a lot of my cue from this writer, famous New Thought writer called Emmett Fox. He wrote, this text is really about the Sermon on the Mount, but he also includes his treatise on the Lord's Prayer. And so let's begin. Our Father. Our Father. So he says, Emmett says this, that essentially this is a two-word theological discussion that basically that lays out the nature of reality. That God, when you say our Father, you're talking about God. God is our Father. That means not the maker, not different from us, not separate from us, just as your children are not really different or separate from you. You are like your parents. You are an offspring. You are, like I said a couple of weeks ago, the acorn that falls from the oak tree. Inside you is packed inside you. It's the same potential in miniature that has been manifest as the oak tree. And so it is with God. God is your Father. Now, 21st century, it's not very inclusive language, but it was written a while ago. And so God as parent means you inherit the same qualities, right? You are God-like. You're not it, but you are God-like. To clarify it, the next line is, who is in heaven? Now, to Emmett Fox, what he's really saying, what he thinks Jesus is really saying here is from this ancient phrase, as above, so below. Meaning that there is a cause and effect in life. Essentially, there is a pattern, a pure pattern, a transcendent, non-physical, beyond this world pattern. And when we're on the current, directly on the current, when we're finding the gold, when we're doing that as above, in this transcendent way, so below. So, our Father who art in heaven is saying, we are a piece of that, and yet that holds the pattern, and we are the manifestation. That is the template of, that is the pure gold, and we are the becoming of that. We are the making it real. So in essence, we are the hands of God, we are the feet of God, we are the face of God. We've heard that in many a song, I'm sure, that you also are that one who manifests the divine by the way you live your life. And I think you can manifest the divine in a good way or a bad way, in quotation marks. In a easygoing, happy, loving way, or you can be that jerk down the street. That's right. Amen. So choose. Essentially what this prayer is about, how do you align yourself with the divine so that you're riding in the main current, not stuck in an eddy, where you can be mining gold instead of rock. And so, you're not God in the pattern sense, you're God in the manifesting sense. And it is our privilege and our obligation to some degree to manifest that gold, to be that pattern made manifest. And you can choose not to do it. And you're still part of the whole thing. You're just rock instead of gold. I've liked being rock until I didn't. Until I don't. it comes and goes, as you know. Because each one of us inherently have developed this idea that we are individuals and separate from God. We are individual, meaning undivided. We're undivided in our patterning from God. We have the patterning, but we are not we're not fully formed as we could be if we would find that line and get on it. There's a phrase I heard somewhere long ago and have never been able to forget it and never really understood it either at the same time. You ever have those? They're talking about Indian music, and there's a Shruti note, and I looked up Shruti note today for the first time. And Shruti note is the smallest increment of sound in the Indian way of dividing into notes. The smallest note you can have, one of 22 within our octave. Doesn't make sense to me. But throughout the whole of any spiritual music, there is this consistent Shruti note, is what the saying said. There is this tone, this one thing that goes right down through all the music that is playing, is the Shruti note. That one note. Small, but the way is narrow, this Shruti note. And when we can pay attention to that, when all the noise is about us, now we're on the path. We can hear the core of it. And so, yes, you are always the divine, even when you are just a rascal, even when you are a rock, even when you're floating in an eddy. You are that rascal for sure. And there's really something great about being a rascal, isn't there? I mean, did you ever want to be perfect and pure? I know some people who do. They're really not obnoxious. But life is so full. I was having a conversation with some people, and two philosophies showed up in the same place at the same time. One was, we should transcend this. We should be beyond this. We should be of another plane. We should be on the higher plane of existence, and we should be able to look down on all this that is going on from a higher place. And another person said, no. You came here to be in the game and to feel it and to get beat up and to win and to lose and to strive and to have that. And I went, yeah, they're both right, aren't they? You are to be in the game. And you're to be beyond it. And what really struck me in that conversation was I was hearing Buddha saying you should be beyond this world. You should be beyond desire. And the other one was Jesus going, hey, I tell you what's really going to be great. I'm going to do the whole thing, and then watch me. I'm going to get killed. And it's all going to be part of the plan. And it's going to be perfect that I go through all this, and I will say at the end, it is finished, meaning it is completed. I did the whole banana. And I never understood why Jesus did that until I realized that there is a spiritual path which is absolutely in the mud. It is the mud. It is not just the gold. The mud is the way. And when you're in that, what is the best thing you can do is you can say yes to everything that's happening in your life. Every bit of it is your path. And you don't need to be judging it like, oh, this is not worth having, or that should never have happened, or all that. Well, that fits in some brackets, but when you're doing the mud path, you don't need to do that. You can just say, I'm in it. But when you do yes to everything, what happens is you transcend by saying yes. Quirky as it sounds, yes is transcendence. And so you can do the path of purity, and you can do the path of mud. But if you're going to do the path of mud, say yes without equivocation, without preference. say yes to the whole Megillah. Now, if you're going to have preferences, maybe you better check out this side over here. Because this has sweetness in it, and it has transcendence. Now, to get there, you will probably have to go through a bit of difficulty. Nobody said it was easy. Well, somebody did. My way is easy. My burden is light. Jesus said that. Buddha said life is suffering until you transcend it. So those are two paths laid out for us. And this, interestingly, that this Lord's Prayer is saying, here's how to be in the mud and yet make it good. Right? I told you I'd be working it out in front of you. Thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And so in Jewish metaphysics, when you give someone a name, what you have named is their nature, meaning how they really are, their fundamental essence. So the hallowed be their name means holy or whole or healed. It comes from the same root word, hallowed be their name. So if you are talking about the divine, you're talking about God at that moment, then God is that divine, that healthy, that whole, that ease, that beauty, and that totality. And when you're in the mud, you really want to know that. Because this is quite difficult. You know it. How many of us have that life? We have mud. We have things that we don't think we can handle in our life. We are growing through the difficulty, the striving, the becoming. We're having all that, and we need something to guide us that takes us from the sharp edges to the smooth. And so that is the hallowed aspect. Hallowed be thy name. Look to that. Look to the holy. Look to the God that is good. Look to that. You may be in the mud. Look to that. Hallowed be thy name. You want to find that nature. That nature is the same as your nature. Find it. Look to the internal experience of the divine so that you can follow it. You have to, as we were doing in meditation earlier, you have to find the golden thread. You have to find that thing that teaches you where to go, who to listen to, who not to listen to. And it is a unfolding experience, and it will be there with you. It has been there all along anyway. And you have found it, and then you have forgotten it. You know that. But to look for the hallowedness of this whole thing. So the next line is, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So in other words, find that shrewdy note and make it manifest in your life. Find it. Listen, hear, thy will be done. Take your little ego and let it follow instead of lead. Right? How many of you have dogs? And you walk around on a leash and the dog leads you. How much fun is that? I can't stand it, personally. Because they want to go over and smell somebody else's pee. Right? Then they want to smell somebody's poop over here. And then they go over here and then squirrel. Right? Your ego is like that. Tell your ego to heal. I'm the boss here, right? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That pattern is there. Our job is to make it manifest. That's how it works there. And the next line is, give us this day our daily bread. And so the way that works is Many of us think, quite rightly, this is about getting stuff to live on. And Jesus said it is God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, right? To give you everything you need. What father would give, when asked for a loaf of bread, would give a stone or a snake? None. So he says, your father's good pleasure to give you good things. But the best thing, the other thing that this is relating to, is the realization of the gold inside you. That Shruti note, the progressive realization of your inner divine nature. That is a form of daily bread as well. Not just the bread that holds the body together, but the bread that feeds the soul. The one that makes this experience, whether it be really dirty, muddy, or fairly shiny, muddy, it makes it all beautiful. It makes it worth doing. It gives us that spiritual remembering that empowers us to actually make manifest the good, and sometimes by mere intent. When you're on that path, when you're deep, when you're right in the middle of the current, can't you just think a thing and doesn't it show up? How many of you have done that? You think of somebody and they call you, right? You are in that place of expandedness, and that in that expandedness you have influence beyond your skin. That is a beautiful place. You hear of gurus who say, go do this, and people leave and go do it, right? Or things manifest for them, or whatever, but it's because they're in the path, on the flow. It's not because they're all mud, it's because now they're more gold than mud. And from the place of gold, many things that are possible are not possible from the place of mud. So the realization of daily awakening to your realization, and you can't force it, which is really a drag, isn't it? How many of you, I'll speak for myself, have hoped, planned, prayed, gone to India, done all that stuff, right? So that I would have like that bolt that would go bam, and I'd be, yeah, now I got it. And instead it comes with dribs and drabs here and there. Some people have the bam. Eckhart Tolle wakes up on a park bench one day and he's just happy. How cool for him. But most of us have to do it by daily bread, little by little. Willing to do the things that we should do to set us up to have that experience, but cannot command the experience to happen. Often in meditation, when I'm teaching meditation, I talk about it being a trap door. You sit, you relax, you focus, you come into yourself, and then the trap door opens or it doesn't. Maybe all you have is chatter, and maybe one day, poof, you fall into it. But if you don't do all that other stuff, the likelihood of you falling into it is much less. It's almost like saying, if you want to catch a fish, it really helps to bait the hook. Right? Okay. Daily bread. Next one. Next line. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them that have trespassed against us. Now we're getting into some really cool stuff. Because this path of mud has some yuckiness to it. And when we want to go toward the gold, or when we want to go faster, cleaner, better, you can't carry all that mud with you. You have to start to leave some of it behind. You have to leave a lot of it behind. And sooner or later, you're going to leave it all behind. And the way you do it is forgiveness, because forgiveness is, when you're not forgiving, what you're doing is you're saying, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm holding on to the mud. This is me. I was hurt as a person And I am insulted and angry, and I will hold on to this as long as I want. And you may. But it will feel like mud the whole time. And you will not find gold in doing that. You will find more mud. And you can't find gold and be that muddy. You have got to forgive if you want to get to the next thing. And forgiveness is not always easy, especially the things that really hurt, not the little ones. Little ones, maybe you do okay with it, but the big ones you go, defines my life. Not changing it. I'm going to repeat that story in my head until I have it in my body. And once I have it in my body, I'm going to live it out because now it is ingrained in me. This is my pain. This is my loss. This is my frustration. This is how I was abused. This is whatever. And now it's in the body. And it is not easy to let go of once you've made it a pattern within the physical body. Granted. But forgiveness is the way out of the mud. And there's no other way to get out of the mud if you don't forgive. And so the whole Course in Miracles, which is a big, thick book, and it has a companion book with it too. It's talking about how to forgive, and the necessity of forgiving, and the unreality of the fact that you were actually hurt in the first place because you're still gold, and gold never gets damaged. Mud gets changed and pushed around, but the gold never changes, and that's what the book is trying to tell you over and over. You are gold, not mud, but you won't know you're gold until you stop holding on to the mud, until you forgive. And when you forgive, you're forgiven. The same mind that holds someone else accountable for what they did to you holds you accountable for what you did. The one that will not let go of someone else's guilt is the same one that holds you in the guilty place. It's just a guilty mindset. It is a dangerous but difficult thing to have inside you, but most of us have it. We tend to not want to forgive. But if we do forgive, then we move out of the mud toward the gold. And then the gold can shine right through you. The pattern can flow through you. You can live that life that is about the kingdom of heaven being made manifest in you. You can do that. But as long as you're holding on to your hurt or your own condemnation of yourself, I should say that again, your own condemnation of yourself is in that same basket of unforgiveness. When you release others, release yourself as well. Because really, this is just a game of mud over here. It is not the truth, it's not the totality of reality, it is the way it is played here in this specter here. At this level, that's how it's played. But to be happy, let's say, in its real sense, to be happy, let it go. Wash yourself. Let your sins be washed away so that you can come back into the fullness of the gold experience. To be that again. So, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them who trespass against us. You will be forgiven as you forgive. It's part of the tit for tat, let's say. Kind of the way it is. Kind of like yes and yes. So let it go and move on and transcend. I promise you that forgiveness is not easy. I was here for about 7 years, and they say a minister has one talk really, and they break it up into little pieces, and they say it over 50 weeks a year. And I tried to be different, but I always had this one fallback I would go to. I'd talk about forgiveness. And finally, one of the members of this church who had been here a long time and had been here for that full 7 years said, "Why don't you just get over it?" she was right. You can make it hard, you can make it your life process, or you can actually just do it and be done with it. And you will need to get it out of your body. You'll need to get it out of your body by living differently. But if you live differently, it will be gone. It will leave you. It eventually will leave you. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. And that's the promise. That's the promise of where we're going. Once we align with the whole of it, once we align and live in that, and we have done our forgiveness work, we've had our revelations, we've recognized that we are one with the one, and that we also need to move into the experience of being one with the one. But once you get there, boom, now you're in the kingdom of heaven, and that goes on forever. You did it. You did the life of mud. You've come to the life of gold. And that's yours. You've earned it. You don't have to go back. You can stay there. Now, one little piece of caveat. I was listening to Ram Dass, and Ram Dass, it was a speech he made in 1975, so a long time ago. And he was saying he had been a spiritual teacher for a while, but he realized he needed to go deeper, and because one of the things that he said was true is that when you rise up in your clarity and your purity, essentially, any failing becomes massive. Anything that, whereas before you were covered in mud, you didn't even notice it. But then you get all clean and shiny, and then a little speck really messes up your whole experience. So the need for purification goes deeper and longer. And Ram Dass was already a spiritual teacher, but he said, I wanted to get to a higher place. And he said, now that I'm at this higher place, I cannot mess your karma up by telling you the wrong thing. Even what I tell you, if it's not exactly right, will not hurt you because I have pure intention. And so that might be one of the real secrets to this whole thing. Though you may not be perfect, you set your intention to move into the kingdom of heaven by living out the pattern that God has for you to know yourself as the highest being you can possibly be. Set your intention on that and do the work. The kingdom of heaven is yours. Let us pray. What do you want? Where do you want to be on this journey? Do you want to be a little muddy? Really muddy? All gold? Where would you like to be? Let us set our intent. And truly our intent may change as our daily bread comes. But know your intent at this moment. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for. So let us have faith. And let us move in the direction of our intention. And in the end, and in this moment, let us shine. For you are gold and not just mud. And so it is. Amen.
love. I get so lost sometimes. Days pass and this emptiness fills my heart. When I want to run away, I drive off in my car. But whichever way I go, I come back to the place you are. Oh, my instincts, they return. The grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride, I reach out from the inside. In your eyes, the light, the heat. In your eyes, I see the doorway of 1,000 churches. Your eyes, of all the fruitless searches. Oh, I want to see the light, the heat in your eyes. Oh, I want to be that complete. I want to touch the light, the heat I see in your eyes. Love, I don't like to see so much pain, so much wasted, and this moment keeps slipping away. I get so tired of working so hard for our survival. I look to the time with you to keep me awake and alive. And all my instincts, they return, and the grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride, I reach out from the inside. In your eyes, the light, the heat. In your eyes, I am complete. In your eyes, in your eyes, I see the heat. Your eyes, clean in your eyes, see the doorway to 1,000 churches. In your eyes, the resolution and the fruitless searches. Your eyes, I see the light, the heat in your eyes. I want to be that complete in your eyes. I want to touch the light, the heat I see in your eyes. In your eyes, in your eyes. Na, 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 na. Oh, in your eyes, in your eyes.
Thank you, Tim and Jay. Okay. My name is Larry Munn, and I have the privilege today of doing the announcements. And so we'll get right to it. All right. We have the free will presentation. Unity of the Triangle is delighted to provide you with the Free Will. Is an online estate planning tool that will assist you in your estate planning. And wills are not just about practical arrangements that you want to make at the end of your life and everything, but it's also about aligning your earthly legacy with the timeless principles of love, abundance, and spiritual transformation. Okay? And if you have, but I can almost guarantee you that if you have a reading of your will, you've had a spiritual transformation. Now, if you want to learn more about this, have questions to ask, then come to the presentation on Sunday, May the 5th at 1 p.m. in the Fellowship Hall. Now, we also have another event coming up that was very popular last year. It was the Women's Garden Party. The Spirit Sisters and the Unity Women of Color are having another popular tea party on Saturday, May 11th from 2 to 4 in the Fellowship Hall. You can come and enjoy some nice, refreshing iced tea, some tiny, itty-bitty sandwiches, some elegant desserts, and of course, it's always good company. It says here that you can wear whatever you want. Okay. And all the women, Unity women, are invited to attend. No men on that part. And I will say that anything that goes on or is shared at the tea party will not necessarily remain at the tea party. All right. Fellowship Committee volunteers. We have a great little place to get together in the Fellowship Hall after every service. But we do need a few more people to help out with that. We go in, we have nice little refreshments, a little bit to eat, a good fellowship that goes on back there, sharing a lot of stories and what's been going on, catching up with everybody during the week, what happened during the week. So if you are willing to help out, either one Sunday a month or just occasionally, once a quarter, just get in touch with Hank Walls at hank@woodwisedesign.com or Beth Brooks at bethbrooksraleigh@gmail.org. And if you remember that, I will be thoroughly impressed. All right. Or you can make it nice and easy and just go to the Fellowship Hall right after the service, check out one of the volunteers, give them your name and email. They will get that information to Hank and Beth, and you will get some details through an email. Okay, I guarantee you it's a lot of fun to help out with these things, and it's amazing how many people you get to know and kind of become and start sharing, be friends with and sharing, what's going on in your life with. Next thing we have is Yoga Nidra, and I had to ask how to pronounce that on that part. Yoga Nidra is learning how to put the body to sleep while praying and meditating. And through my experience, I think I've got a little jump start on that part, the sleeping part anyway. Okay. Basically, Reverend Michael Gadway, he will be offering Yoga Nidra on Wednesday, May the 15th at 7 p.m., and it will replace the guided meditation for that evening. Okay. Now about the offerings. I have a few words to say, and as I thought about it, I was thinking of what we always try to think of as our gifts, and of course I always keep coming up with the talent on that part, time, and of course your treasures. And I was thinking about most of the time when we think that when we share it or use it up, we actually, get less of it. We actually end up with less, and that's not true at all. If you take your time and you share your time, it doesn't reduce any. And I got that one good idea one time when I was dating a young lady way down on the West Coast, and we were talking late at night on the phone, and she was talking about, we're so far away and everything else, and I got this brilliant idea, one of my best moments I had. I said, can you see the moon? She goes, yes, I can see the moon. I said, I can see the moon too. We are looking at the same object at the same moment. How close is that? One of my finer moments. I like that part. But that moment was huge because it spanned 3 time zones and thousands of miles. And that's how time is now. Think of all the things that are happening in this world at this moment. 99.9% has nothing to do with you personally, but that moment is huge with the amount of things that are happening. So when you share your time, it doesn't get less. It actually grows. More things can happen within that moment. And when you share that moment, the next moment is right there. You don't have to wait for it. Okay? Now, your talents. Most of the time when you think of talents, I thought of this one, you think of maybe a particular set of skills. That came from a movie, and usually you think a particular set of skills will define who you are, and that's not true at all. It just shows what you're fairly good at. But we have skills. We have talent. We can walk and talk at the same time. At least most of us can. Okay? But there's literally, if you sit down, you cook, you clean, you drive a car, just everything you do, there's a huge amount of talent you have. Where does that talent come from? You didn't just was born with it. It's just an idea came up. And you say, hey, can I do this? And nobody really showed you how to do it. You just did it. And you ended up, oh, I have a talent, such as you throw something. Did anybody ever teach you how to throw? No. Babies, they pick something up, it's gone. But some people can practice it. Some people find out that they can do it pretty good, can throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball in about a 1 by whatever little space. Just put it right there. So it's not about not being able to do things. Everybody has talent, and when you share that talent, it doesn't get any less. If anything, it gets better, because the more you use it, the better you get at it. Okay. And the last thing is treasure. Treasures is a little tricky, because when you're young, you want to build up treasures. You want to have things, you want to own things, and you use what treasure you have to build up and get more treasure. But some people get stuck in that route. They get stuck in that mode. And eventually you'll come to a point where you finally realize, I have enough. I can remember the moment it happened to me. I had built up a lot of treasure, then lost a lot of treasure, built the treasure back up, and I had told myself, if I ever get to this point again, I'm satisfied because I can live the life I want that I enjoy. I don't have to have any more. And I remember the day when a guy came up to me, one of my fellow workers, said, hey, the stock is way down here now. If we jump in it now, we're going to make a huge amount of money. And I can remember I looked at him, I said, that's very tempting, but I said, if I ever got to this point again, I will be satisfied. And when I said those words, I really stuck with them, and I have been totally satisfied ever since I quit looking at building it up. But it never decreases either, because one of my friends told me, money just goes in a circle. You make it, you spend it, you pay taxes, it goes back into some type of, people doing things and investing. It comes back around, manufacturing comes back up, money comes in, you go and help make that manufacturing, you get paid. That money just makes circles. That's all it does. It goes around in a circle. He said, all you got to do is hold your pocket out, in other words, do something, and some of it's going to fall in your pocket. How much? That's up to you sometimes. But the thing about it is, the value of money does not determine how much treasure you really have. And if you share your treasure, more treasure will come to you. All right? So those who are online, you can go to the website, unitytriangle.org. Just click on the orange donate button, and you can go ahead and donate on that part. For those who are here, of course, We will have contributions, and you can go to also out to the welcome desk, use your credit card, very easy to use. You can also become a consistent giver, which is what I do. Makes it very, very, very easy. All right? Now, will the greeters please stand and for the blessing of our gifts? Okay. Now let's bless our gifts with the affirmation shown on the screen. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Let the love wash over us. We let it be. Let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I hope you got something out of today's service. We intend to bring you things that will help you in your life become more of who you want to be, give you the freedom of forgiveness and the hope of expectancy that your life will unfold in a way that brings you joy, happiness, and is a contribution to the world. If you would like to contribute to this ministry, please go to unitytriangle.org, hit the donate button, and it will lead you into an easy way of doing that. We thank you for your attention and look forward to seeing you again here.